kind of look at them as, oh, he just came out of nappies, who is he telling, I mean, though you might be telling him, and his heart is saying, yeah, this is true, but, it's hard for him to overcome this look at you being a youngster, just out of your nappies. So better to take him then to somebody who is older, somebody who is from his own generation, whatever, who can carry across that same message, but he would be more willing to listen to it from that individual because of the fact that he is from his own age group. What I would say is that the best method of da'wah is personal example. This is the best method of da'wah. The other methods of tapes and talk, booklets, etc., these are useful methods of getting information out to people. But the best example is our personal example. For most people, they are going to be looking at us. They look at Muslims. They conclude what Muslims are, etc., and what they are not, based on their behavior, how they carry themselves. So, what this invites us to is to be exemplary in our behavior. That we, in the way we carry ourselves, convey the message of Islam, of honesty, of morality, of justice, and these kind of things. We convey it in our actions, in how we deal with them. This is very important, because I know there are many people who have approached me on different occasions, asking me, they're either businessmen, they have shops or whatever, they ask me, is it permissible for us to raise the prices, when we see a non-Muslim come into our store? Is it permissible for us to raise the prices on them? Cheat them, in other words. Give them false prices. Can we do this? And when I ask them, why would you want to do this? They say, well, these people are going to hell anyway, right? This money is not going to benefit them. It's better we take it. You see? This kind of rationale, this is satanic. No. This is not the way. Muslims are known for their honesty. They should be known for their honesty. We are not honest to Muslims, but dishonest to non-Muslims. Our morality is not limited to dealing with Muslims, and then we can become immoral when we're dealing with non-Muslims. No. This is one of the ways by which the Jews were misguided. They went astray. If you read about riba in the Old Testament, what it states there now is that it is not permissible for you, Jews, to take interest, riba, usury, to do this to your brethren. You see, now it's not permissible to take interest from fellow Jews, but it's okay to take it from the Gentiles. You see, they changed the book. So what was evil, what was forbidden, etc., this was amongst themselves. But to other people, no, it is okay. This was their way. And this is not the way of Islam. When Allah revealed the moral teachings of the scriptures, these moral teachings were for everybody. They were not limited to specific groups. So we have to remove this kind of thinking from our minds. We have to be honest in our dealings with all people. And it is that honesty in dealing which led to the conversion of many people to Islam. When we look at the spread of Islam, for example, into places like Indonesia and Malaysia, etc., that spread took place without any military action. There was no military confrontation between the Islamic State, the expanding Islamic State, and these civilizations which existed in Indonesia and Malaysia, Philippines, etc. No. And in much of West Africa, no. It was carried there through traders. Traders who traded with people they had been trading with before Islam. But having become Muslims, then their way of trading changed. People could see a difference. And people wanted to know why. And they had to explain to them it was Islam that made the difference. It was Islam which taught them this other way. This way which was more honest, which was fair in dealing with people. And this attracted people to Islam in such a manner that the largest single Muslim country today is, our country of Muslims, is Indonesia. Right? This is the largest. And this is where, as I said, there was no military confrontation, where Islam spread amongst them merely through trade. Now, time is running out here. In more practical terms, in the case of Muslims in the UK, the requirements for da'wah, as practical example, this means for us that we need to establish Islamic communities. We need to establish Islamic communities. This is something about which I spoke 2 years ago. For those of you who were in the conference 2 years ago, I spoke about it before. And I cannot stop speaking about it because it is the only way to go. There is no real future for Islam in the UK unless Muslims establish Islamic communities across the country. There is no way to go. Where communities where Muslims have gathered into various neighborhoods of various cities or whatever, towns or whatever, and established neighborhoods of Islam, where people come in, non-Muslims can come through those neighborhoods and recognize this as a Muslim neighborhood. Not a neighborhood of Bengalis, Pakistanis, Somalis. This is different. Those neighborhoods are ethnic neighborhoods. The people happen to be Muslims. But more important, they are Bengalis, Pakistanis, or Somalis. The Arab, down in London, Arab area where all the stores are written in Arabic. Some of these Arabs are Christian Arabs. Some of them are, a variety of different things. No, neighborhoods wherein people have congregated in those neighborhoods, have moved into those neighborhoods on the basis of Iman, on the basis of faith, with a desire to try to establish an Islamic presence, which can be exemplary, which can be an example to the society in which we live. Because this society keeps looking at the Muslim world and saying, hey, you guys are talking about Islam and how it's good and just and all these different things. But look at these places. Look at Algeria. Look at, Saudi Arabia. Look at this one. Look at Egypt. Look at Sudan. Look at what they're doing there. You see, and it's only so much you can do to say, well, no, that's not really what Islam is. And no, Islam, they shouldn't be doing this. And, no. We need to show them what impact Islam has on the life of a community if it practices it. We need to show them in practical terms. This is essential for our da'wah here. This is essential for establishing our presence here. And not only that, but it is also an obligatory duty. Let us not think that this is just something, it would be nice. No, it is an obligatory duty for us to make hijrah, to create these neighborhoods. This is something about which Allah addressed in Surah An-Nisa, verse 97. This is a very, very scary verse. And I think each and every one of you need to go back and to read this verse and reflect on it. Each and every one of you that currently is living in scattered locations where most of your neighbors, etc., are non-Muslims, etc., in your work situation, you, your wife, your children can hardly practice Islam. Your children are going to kafir schools and, this is the situation you're living in. You need to go back and to read this verse. Allah says there, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ تَوَفَّاهُمُ الْمَلَائِكَةُ ظَالِمِي أَنفُسِهِمْ قَالُوا فِيمَا كُنْتُمْ